All right. Hey, guys. Welcome to Channel Geek. This is going to be the first live broadcast. We won't have terribly much of the live broadcasts, but we wanted to come on and let you meet a couple of us anyway, and give you an idea of what Channel Geek is going to be all about. We are a place where we're going to tell you a lot about geek culture, things that geeks enjoy, tabletop games, video games, conventions, whatever it is that you have interest in. We are going to try to do a little bit of something about it. And we're also going to, listen to your comments. Let us know what it is that you would like to see, and we are going to be more than happy to try to look into it and do some things for you. So let's go ahead and start by introducing ourselves here. We'll go ahead and John.
Yep, my name is John Stith. I'm kind of a multi-purpose geek. I'm into a lot of different things. And Chris here and I have known each other for longer than most of you have been alive. We were roommates in college, and he was one of the groomsmen at my wedding. So, as I said, we've known each other a long time. We're good friends. So, we hope you all enjoy all the things that we have to offer. Most of what I'm going to do is going to focus on a variety of things in geek culture. Like I said, I'm a multi-purpose geek. I work conventions. I play RPGs regularly, read comic books, do all the above, watch Star Trek and Doctor Who and Star Wars, and the list goes on.
We both kind of fit into that same kind of category of being multi-purpose. I do a lot of tabletop gaming. I have been a gamer for, I don't know how many years. I can recall some of the games that we played in college, which were a lot of fun. Since then, I branched out into video games. I don't play as many of them as I used to, simply because I haven't had the time to. But one of my big loves is going to conventions. Hopefully, we'll have you some information about OhioCon when a few of us will be attending that this year. Actually, technically next year, I guess. As the convention is in January, but it's always a lot of fun. We run the karaoke there, which is another kind of geeky thing to be doing. Mm-hmm. But things like that, you're going to expect some videos on. We should be posting our first videos up, hopefully Sunday. We had some issues with the editing, so we're going to have to go ahead and make sure that we get the editing fixed. Part of the reason why we're doing this today, though, is just because we promised we would. we want to go live, and so we had to do this and let you know what we've got going on. And we're not doing it empty-handed. We've brought a game for you to witness here. This is a game called Geek, and I hope that I pronounced that right. But it's about robot battles, and you can kind of think of it a little bit like Yahtzee. Your characters attack by rolling dice, and you're going to try to match up symbols on these dice in order to power your attacks. Each of your characters have a different set of attacks. If I can find the extra cards there. Do you have them over there, Steph? Yeah. All right. So all of them have different attack stats. They have a different amount of structure. As you take damage, you're going to roll down these dice to recognize that you have less hit points. Very easy game to pick up and learn how to play. Not terribly complicated. Tends to be more fun with more than two people, but there is a dual mode, which we're going to show you today and let you see how that works. So we're going to get started. I'm going to let John go first. Now, each character can move and attack, not necessarily in that order. You get to move one square. You can move diagonally. You can move side to side, however you want to do that. And you can attack after you've moved, or you can attack then move. It just depends on what you've got going on. Each of the squares have some bonus features to them, so that you can gain extra dice, gain extra defense, gain extra damage. Just depends on where you are sitting on the map. So if you want to go ahead.
Okay, now this isn't a strip version of this game where we
No,
have to take
no,
off.
no.
Okay, good.
Nobody wants to see that, John.
Yes. Okay, so hey, you reckon anybody's watching yet?
We will find out. There is a chat section here, so if you want to actually make comments while you're watching, feel free. We'll be happy to answer any questions that you have about us or the game while we're playing.
Okay, so I've got 2 green symbols. That could be, I guess, a pair. So I get 2 re-rolls after this, right?
Right, but you have to choose what you're going for right now. So you could say you're going for 2 pairs, or you can go for 3 of a kind.
I'm going for 3 of a kind.
Okay, so go ahead and just set those there.
Yep.
Now, if he succeeds at 3 of a kind, then he's going to deal me damage. If he fails, he's going to take damage.
Now, the great thing about it is, he doesn't know it yet, is if I get to deal him damage, I'm going to punch him. Okay. Should have gone for 2 pair. So I get 1 more re-roll.
1 more reroll.
Ha-ha!
All right, so you got 3 of a kind.
Okay.
Of course, you needed to move to get to me first, but
Okay, so where can I move?
the only place that you could move would be the center square if you were
Okay.
going to attack me.
Going to the center square to attack the kitty cat.
So, yep, you do a total of 2 damage from that.
Okay.
So I will spin the dice down by 2, and then it will be my turn.
Okay, now do I leave those there, or do you hand them to you?
You just hand them to me.
Okay.
Okay.
So
I don't think
question.
the cards are involved in this.
I can pick whatever I want. So I just pick
Yeah.
one of these to go for. Okay.
Exactly. You throw the dice first, and then you pick what you want to go for.
Excellent.
And then after that, you're just going to have to guess it. Okay. So I have 2 pair here. I could go for that automatically, or I could go for a full house, which I like the full house a lot. So yeah, I'm going to attack from where I'm at, and I got 2 shots at this. So first shot, I got it.
Got it.
All right. So
I take
I deal
4.
4 damage to you.
Okay, what's the little star symbol there beside it?
Okay. The target symbol tells you how much damage it deals.
Mhm.
The gear symbol tells you how much damage you take if you miss it.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
So I take 4 points. So I'll roll this over to a 2, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And then I am going to move over to here to get the defensive bonus from that square.
Okay. Going to hit you again. I figure I can stay where I am. Although there could be advantages to moving either way, right?
Right. And, right now, one thing that you did not do,
Mhm.
square you're in, at the end of the turn, you got to draw 3 cards, and then you have to discard 2 of them. Which in the duel, I think this is the only way that you can get cards.
Okay, I'm going to keep that one.
All right. That is get discarded.
Okay. Okay, I've got a pair and I've got 3 different ones. So there's a header on here called 5 different. That's what I'm going for.
All right. We're going to adjust the screen here so that you get a better view of our game here.
Better view of something else. Oh. Although I think they were admiring us. 1 roll, 2 rolls, and I missed.
You missed. So you're going to take 4 damage because you missed.
So 1 die goes off. That's 2 points. And then this one goes to 4. Is that right?
Correct. Now, when you lose a die, you get to choose one of these abilities to get. So keep the die out because that will go to represent which one you
Okay.
got.
So flip a die, extra re-roll, or roll an extra die. I think we're going to go with roll an extra die.
Okay, so flip that to 2 because you get 2 charges on that. Now, with the charges on Gekido, you get to use the ability, and once you use the ability, you burn a charge. When you're out of charges, you may no longer use that ability.
Fair enough.
All right. Let me just a moment, checking on something here.
Speaking of cons, this weekend, the Louisville is having their first Super Con. Used to be something called the Derby City Comic Con. It got bought and then bought again and became Louisville Super Con, which is attached to a big chain of conventions throughout the South called, quite simply, Super Con. Their guest list is heavy duty this year, too. They've even got Richard Dreyfuss.
And I meant to move before I did that, but I forgot to, so I will suffer the penalty for it.
Yes.
With that, I am actually going to attempt to go for 5 different.
Woot.
Let's see if I can get this going. All right. Come on. Big money, no whammies. That was a whammy.
And that's 8 damage to you.
All right, so...
Or sorry, 4 damage to you.
Yep, 4 damage to me. So that goes away.
So what's going to be your reroll?
I am going to choose the ability to make 1 die, any die.
Okay, I don't have that one. Yours is different. So.
Yes. Yeah, the characters are all different. Some of them are a bit more offensively built. Some of them are tricksy, and some of them are defensively built. My character is a tricksy character.
I'm going to roll an extra die.
All right. Now, you only get to roll it for the 1 roll.
That's fine. We're going to remove this one. John's going to keep the full house, which he's already got.
All right.
So take 4 there, cowboy.
All right. So I will take 4. And that hurts.
Yes, it does.
So this time, I am going to actually go ahead and move to here before I make my attack.
What's in that?
In this square, I get an extra reroll.
Woot.
All right, so let's see what we start with here.
What do I get for this? Oh, it gives me cards, doesn't it?
Yes, and you.
But I've got, I forgot to do the 3 cards again.
You can tell we play this game a lot.
That's true.
Let's go ahead and go for that 5 different again.
Here you
go. All right. Missed it on the first roll. Missed it on the second roll. Missed it on the third roll, but I'm going to go ahead and burn that to make that whatever I want to make sure that I get it.
So what do I take?
You will take, given the square that you're in, you're actually going to take 10.
Well, actually, no, you're going to take some. I have a deflector shield, redirect up to 6 points damage to another bot. That would be you.
Okay, so you take 4.
Which will do this.
And I take...
It will move me to another die.
And I move to another die as well.
So I will take an extra reroll.
I am going to go with flip a die.
Yep.
Now, on each of the bottom of the character charts, there is a selection that shows you how you can flip dies. So if you roll a green, you can change it to a red. But you have to have the ability to flip it either through the square that you're in or through some other trick.
Okay. My turn. I got a full house straight out of the chute. That means you take 4 there, buddy.
Okay. You're not going to choose to do anything else. You're going to go straight for the heart there.
What would you do?
I don't know. That's probably a pretty good choice there.
Yes.
You know,
and hand me 3 cards.
All right. Why am I looking at your cards? I didn't actually see them.
That's fine.
Okay. Let's see what I can do here.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm gonna go nuts. I'm gonna go ahead and go for 5 of a kind.
Go for it, buddy. That would actually finish the game, I think.
Yes, it would. Okay. So I got 2 more rerolls because of the square I'm on.
Oh!
And there you have it.
Go for broke. And these won't do anything for me because these are attacker-based cards. So,
I slapped you into next week.
yes, on one roll you did. You got it. You got lucky.
Luck is definitely a factor in the game, but it's still a lot of fun, and as you can tell, it's pretty quick to play. Pick this little gem up at Origins, which, if you have never gone to Origins, Origins is definitely a good convention to check out.
There are two great gaming conventions in America, Origins and Gen Con. Origins is older, though.
Origins is also cheaper, in my opinion, as far as affordability of conventions to go to. I've gone to Origins now for 4 years. It is definitely a fun convention to go to. There are plenty of games to try out. Most of the game suppliers there will have specials for you. So it's something that you actually get a chance to see and check out the games that you want to try before you even buy the games. And they've always got the biggest game manufacturers there, ILO. Let's see.
Hasbro, are they there?
Hasbro, not so much. Hasbro's more...
Because they own Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah. See, Ninja Division's usually there. Cool Minis or not, who you may be familiar with because they bring you Zombicide, which is another fun game if you haven't tried that. This is actually a game by Cool Minis or not, which, kind of makes sense since the minis are really, really nice. But, yeah, Origins is one of my favorite places to go. Part of the reason why I go there every year, one of the things I will talk about a lot will be HeroClix. They have the national championships there every year. Used to be the world championships, but they've moved that now to PAX Unplugged, which is this weekend. I've got several teammates that are going to be participating in the world championships there at PAX Unplugged. It's a fairly new convention. Have you ever heard anything about PAX Unplugged?
No, I have not heard about that one really.
Are you familiar with PAX?
I've heard of PAX, yeah, but not the Unplugged.
I've been to PAX in PAX East. At the time, it was just PAX Prime. It was out in Seattle. Great convention to go to as well. As you can tell, we like to do the convention scene.
I don't get to go to many, but I work a couple in the area. I almost worked SuperCon, but too many other things got in the way. But I work in March in Lexington, Kentucky. We had the Lexington Comic and Toy Convention, which is at Heritage Hall, which is a part of Rupp Arena area. The great thing about it is they've gone, I think they're going to be their 8th year coming up. Last year, they had 32,000 people there, actually above that. They've had lots of guests. They've had original Trek. They have comic book greats. They had Jim Steranko. They've had Neil Adams. If you read comic books or have anything like the time, these guys are legends in the business. Neil Adams, as far as the Batman stuff goes, probably second only to like Bob Kane, as far as the artwork and everything else he's done. And here's one that's going to get you all. If you're watching it, and if you're a gamer, I got to sit and interview Matt Mercer last year at the con. So if you know who he is, he's runs the Critical Role program for 5th edition D&D, and he's a voiceover actor. But that's my name drop for the night. But it's a lot of fun. And then there's the Scarefest Horror Convention that comes in the fall. So
I tend to travel a little bit more for the conventions. As I mentioned, I go to Origins. We also do OhioCon every year, which is a really, really great anime convention. It's not quite as big as Anime Central, which is in Chicago, but to me, that's part of the appeal. I didn't enjoy being in such a large convention. I've been to Gen Con once, didn't enjoy that as much either because you pretty much had to pay for everything. Although I will make a shout out to Rio Grande Games. If you go to any convention that Rio Grande Games is set up at, it is worth your time to pop in there because, one, they've got all of their games set up that you can learn how to play. They've got people there ready to teach you how to play, but they also usually bring food and not just, cheap food. I'm talking, real catered service there. One year I went, they had fajitas there, which was for free. Just you come in, you sit down, you play the games, and you have a bite to eat. So top-notch crew over there at Rio Grande Games. Always a pleasure to go see what they've got going on.
Yeah, that sounds like it's pretty good. And I've gone to cons before in the region. Unfortunately, my work and other things going on don't always allow me to travel and that kind of thing. I want to try to make it to Gen Con at some point. And I wouldn't mind going to Origins, but usually, my vacations are tied up elsewhere because the wife doesn't want to do that as much as I do. But I've been fortunate to meet a lot of really cool people. I have a lot of friends that go there. I've made new friends in the process. One of my geek areas is also theater. I'm kind of a theater geek. I do plays and things like that. So we have a lot of fun.
So what's your favorite TV show?
TV show, there's a lot of stuff I like. Right now, I kind of geek out on the CW, DC comics shows. I like Flash and Arrow and Legends of Tomorrow and Supergirl. Honestly, Flash is a big favorite, but I really like Supergirl because they brought the Legion of Superheroes in there, and that's kind of my favorite book period that I've been reading since I was old enough to read. So,
well, for me, it's no surprise. I am a Ruby fan. Absolutely love the show. The funny thing is, I don't know that I would have gotten into it if I had started now trying to follow it, because my expectations might have been too high. But at the time, I just kind of got sucked in by the really light nature of the show to start with. And it built up over time and has built this world around it that is just
there are a lot of shows
so
that grow
awesome.
On you. They grow on you. You don't start out, you're kind of, and then they grow on you over time. And I totally forgot to mention another show I'm digging on is Star Trek Discovery. I picked up the CBS All Access so I could get it. I watched the first season. It was fantastic. There's a lot of action. It's got Doug Jones, who just was part of an Oscar Best Picture film. He did Abe Sapien. He was the guy in the suit for Abe Sapien in the Hellboy movies. He does all kinds of stuff like that. And he's actually connected to a local college, Asbury.
I'm kind of disappointed, though, that so many of these different shows are coming on to specific purchase
streaming networks.
Yeah.
That's the way of the future.
It's but nobody has the money to buy them all.
Well, and actually that makes me think, kind of the side topic for just a moment. Netflix and Marvel announced they were canceling Daredevil.
Yeah.
The third season is it. So they've canceled Daredevil, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist.
Although Iron Fist deserved it.
Here's the thing. I went in, before I watched it all, I'd heard a lot about it, said it was horrible. So I went in with expectations that were horrible. And I was pleasantly surprised. So when you go in expecting the worst, and it's not, it works. Just like the Justice League movie, I went in expecting a horrible train wreck, and it wasn't. I was pleasantly surprised. Whereas and I know this will catch grief, with the Infinity Wars movie, I went in and expected something over the top, and I was disappointed.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it works that way. Yeah. I will have to say that as far as Iron Fist was concerned, Colleen Wing was interesting in that show.
Yeah.
The rest of it was just trash.
It was a little lame. And it was slow. That first season was just dragged on.
Well, all of the Netflix shows,
they're very slow going. Yeah,
they have a lot of build up. In my mind, the best of the Netflix Marvel series was Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones was good. Well, especially the villain in the first season.
Yeah, I mean, it was just that villain was so creepy.
Well, and David Tennant's fantastic.
Yeah.
He was fantastic as Doctor Who. Anybody who disagrees is not so fantastic. But he made a great villain. He was adequately creepy and everything else, but kind of sympathetic too, and that's what made it a great character. Of course, that's acting too. So,
but I don't know. I've stopped following the CW shows. I'm not as big on them as I once was.
You could catch them on Netflix once the season's over.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was getting at, though. The all of the streaming services, you can't possibly buy them all. And I'm trying to figure out at what point in time is there going to be a company that decides, okay, we're going to make arrangements with all of these streaming networks so that you can package it like you do your cable service.
I think it's going to be later rather than sooner. And the reason I say that is one of the things is that's probably connected to the Marvel stuff dropping off of Netflix is the fact that Disney is going to be starting their own streaming service probably within the next year.
Yeah.
Now, they're not going to have all the Star Wars stuff right away. That's tied up in other legal rights. But most of your Marvel movies are going to be there. None of the feature-length Disney animated stuff, none of the new ones are going to be on Netflix or any of the other streaming services like Hulu and Amazon Prime and all that stuff. At least I don't think so.
Although Netflix is going to be taking advantage of what they've got right now, because I know later on in December you are going to see Infinity War.
Yeah.
They have announced that it's going to be on there.
But Netflix has got so much other stuff too. I've been watching Voltron, a newer Voltron. It was produced by Steven Spielberg's production company, Amblin Entertainment or something like that.
And for fans of anime, you've got Seven Deadly Sins, which the first season was really good. I haven't had a chance to really dig into the second season on that. They've got the first season of Sword Art Online is on there dubbed, and then they've got the second season of Sword Art Online subtitled. Now, a lot of people said the second season wasn't as good as the first season. I don't know. I enjoyed it, especially the second story arc to that. Was just kind of tugging at the heartstrings and everything.
Well, and I haven't seen that one, but I like subtitles better a lot of times because I think that the English translations lose some of the inflection and the emotion, that they just can't get. And whereas the Japanese stuff, while you can't understand it, and sometimes it's harder to follow when you're trying to read the lines and watch the image, but I think you get more of the emotion from the programming.
And I get that. And I personally prefer dub just because I need to be able to focus on other things too.
Well,
so
I understand.
It makes life difficult. But right now they've got the new season of Sword Art Online is on Funimation, and that is only subtitled. So I've been keeping up with that.
Yeah.
Great show so far. Anxious to see where they go with it.
Yeah. I remember my first experience with you in animation or anime Robotech marathons for recording.
And that is still one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah.
A lot of people keep on talking about new series and what's really great as far as anime is concerned. There are a few series that you are never going to be able to match the epicness, I guess, of the series. And even though the animation technique may be dated, some of the voice acting.
But even then, sometimes it's not. Sometimes when it's redigitized, it's still really clean and really smooth.
Well, and sometimes the voice acting is not up to what you had expected because in the early days, people didn't take it as seriously as they.
Well, and a lot of times it was just amateurs who managed to translate most of it into English, and then they read it off. I mean, that was on college campuses a lot back in the 80s and early 90s.
But Robotech is epic, especially the Macross saga portion.
That was one that got a little more attention,
Yeah.
and they had real actors doing a lot of the work, although I still think you wanted to be a bridge bunny.
Record of the Lotus War.
Record of the Lotus War is basically anime version of Dungeons and Dragons. It is really good.
Well, the thing that I always say is that Record of Lotus War is what every D&D campaign strives to do.
Oh, yeah.
And then my other classic favorite, the Slayers, is what every D&D game becomes.
Kind of, yeah.
I mean, the joking, there. If you look at it, there is a story. There's a deep story underneath the jokes and everything, but the comedy is taking the front seat to this epic tale that's going on there. But great stuff. Now, I'm going to offend some people here by letting you know that I do not like Akira.
Akira was powerful. I mean, and it holds up. A lot of the imagery was good. A lot of people really liked it. And at the time, there wasn't as much. I mean, now we've had decades and decades. And it's like sitcoms over here. There's just tons and tons of anime.
Well, it was important because it was the one that really brought anime to the forefront of American viewers. But man, that was great.
Well, and God, I'm thinking of the first time I watched Legend of the Overfiend.
No, we are not discussing that.
Yeah, it's just kind of frightening. As far as anime goes, one of the big themes in Japanese entertainment like that is the 5-man team. Everyone knows the Power Rangers. Power Rangers have been around for generations now, and there's millions of different generations. They've got comic books, action figures, and it's been around since probably the 90s or so. But before there were the Power Rangers, there was the 5-man team, Gatchaman, Science Team Ninja Gatchaman, and they were fantastic. In the United States, we called it Battle of the Planets. For those of us who grew up in the late 70s and 80s. G-Force. And I've tracked down, their stuff's not hard to find. I think there's a lot of it on YouTube even. But I've found a lot of the episodes, and they're pretty close to what the American versions were. The music is awesome. It's kind of 70s rock, but it's still awesome. And the animation is from the 70s, so it's not as clean as it is, but it still holds up really well. And I think the storylines hold up well, because some of those monsters were awesome.
Yeah. But then, when you get into the more modern anime, for me, Angel Beats is hard to get past. It's beautiful, sounds good, deep story, although it would have been nice if they had gotten deeper on all of the characters. It was just a matter of a time crunch there that they couldn't get past. Another really, really great one is Log Horizon. Sword Art Online, of course, I do enjoy tremendously. So what about movies? What
movies?
Your favorite movie all time? Nothing better than.
It's tough. There are a lot of movies that I can just sit down and watch any time. I really, really liked the Lord of the Rings movies. I saw Fellowship of the Ring, and that was me posting. I saw Fellowship of the Ring probably a dozen times in the theater. We saw it the first opening night. Were you with us when we all went to see the Fellowship of the Ring the night it opened?
No.
We saw it here in Lexington, Kentucky. Actually, Woodhill, I think is where we saw it. And there were about a dozen of us. Well, it hit the local dollar theater. That was cheaper than renting a movie. So and I lived in a town just outside of Lexington. The town was Richmond, Kentucky. And we would drive back to Lexington after work, after we'd been home, to go back to see the movie, because it was a 20-minute drive. We'd go see the movie. We'd pay $1 a piece. And I saw it probably a dozen times like that. So that's not even counting the DVDs and TV and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, but I really liked it. This isn't on the Geek radar, but there's another movie I like called In the Harm's Way. It's an old John Wayne movie that I can watch just about any time.
Now, come on, you can geek out about old movies.
Yeah, and it just really depends. Kind of my mood. There are lots of movies, but some stuff is better than others, and it just depends on how I'm feeling. I like The Jungle Book from Disney from 1968, I think. So I still sing those damn songs.
My favorite movie of all time, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
Yeah.
it just, given my age, people think I'm part of an older generation, but honestly, that Scott Pilgrim is my generation.
There's Bubba Hotep.
Yeah.
Bubba Hotep's brain damaging. But it's so much fun.
That's another show they canceled.
What?
Bruce Campbell.
Oh, yeah, I saw
Ash
that.
versus the Evil Dead.
Yeah, I saw that. It was on Stars, I think.
Yeah.
They had Lee Majors on there. The $6 Million Man, which I met at the Lexington Comic Convention a couple of years ago. So, but yeah, there's just so much great geek stuff out there. Are we going to be watching yet?
Well, this is just a brief introduction, letting you guys know exactly who we are, what we're going to be doing. This video will be available after we're done streaming live, which we're going to just about finish up. We just wanted to give you a little idea of who we are, what we talk about, and you're going to see a variety of videos crop up. You're going to see the team get bigger. We've got William Sam Quinton from Sinopa Publishing is going to be one of our contributors. We also have Will Reed, who is oftentimes referred to as the cinema masochist. Uh,
He's
he's
watched
going to
Tom
have
Beaver too many times.
no. He watches bad movies intentionally.
Well, then he watched Tom Beaver too many times.
So yeah, he's going to share his thoughts on movies, good and bad. But
He ought to watch my bad movie. I was in one once. It was a short film, about 15, 20 minutes. It's great. It's called Murder Virgin.
okay,
Yes, not kidding. It's on YouTube.
mine is not on YouTube, but
Yes.
I do have a film credit on
Yeah.
Internet Movie Database.
Yep.
I
Mine's
was
on
in-
IMDb too.
I was in
I started the
Telephone.
film. So, well, the premise of the film was really bad. So you have a young lady. She's probably 5'1", 5'2", not very big.
Mhm.
Probably weighs 100 pounds, soaking wet, maybe. And she's cute, but she gets a wild hair one day. She wants to kill somebody. She wants to be a serial killer. Well, her first victim is me. So she kind of scopes me out, etc. And like I said, she's not very big, and I am. I'm 6'3", I weigh about 330. So, and she, like I said, she barely weighs 100 pounds. So she invites me over, and hilarity ensues. It's kind of a dark comedy, and it's more dark than comedy, probably, because some people would say it's not that funny. But we had a lot of fun doing it. I actually sort of get buzzed on and drunk on the film. So,
Okay. Well, with that, we're going to go ahead and say goodnight to you guys. And like I said, keep an eye out as we start posting content. Probably going to start seeing the first videos crop up on Sunday. Fingers crossed. And thanks for tuning in. Hope you
make
enjoyed
sure
what
you
we
share us
got.
on social media.
Yes.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever the hell is, Snapchat, anything else you can think of.
Take care.